Hello, my name is Ariel, like the mermaid, and in this video I want to talk about It Gets Better. And I'm not, there's obviously the It Gets Better project, but I'm not, I'm kind of I'm talking about like the general kind of movement and the idea that was kind of sparked by that project, but I'm not really talking about the specific project started by Dan Savage. And there's obviously some controversy around Dan Savage, but I'm not really going to get into that because I don't know that much about it. But I know that there's some controversy about Dan Savage. But anyways, what I'm talking about is just the idea of it getting better. And now I think some people have kind of critiqued the idea a little bit, and I kind of want to talk about. I mean, I have a little bit of mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, I think it, like, the basic idea behind it, I think is a very, very good idea. Because, I mean, I recall, particularly just throughout middle school, I really, and not even just as a queer person, but that was a big part of it. But just in general, I mean, I didn't have a very fun time, and I think that's true for a lot of people, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. A lot of times middle school and high school sucks for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons. And I think I mean, when I was in middle school, there really wasn't there weren't people telling me it was going to get better. And I really didn't know, and that was something that really horrified me, is that the idea that, oh, like, I'm not having a fun time right now, this really kind of sucks, and is it gonna just get worse from here? Is it just gonna be like this, except then there's gonna be more work and more homework and more schoolwork and I'm not gonna get any more, have many more friends and stuff like that. Is it just gonna get worse from here? Because that's just terrible. So I mean, it would have been nice, and unfortunately at that time there wasn't really, and it gets better project saying, no, hey, it gets better. It would have been nice to know that it could get better, and that it that it didn't have to suck, just the way it sucked then. But at the same time, notice that I didn't say it does get better. It can get better, and I think that's my main thing with it, is that it's not, like, for one, having the mentality of, oh, no, it will get better, is problematic because, on two ones. First of all, just in general, saying to society, oh, no, it's okay that these kids are feeling like shit right now, because they're going to go to college, and then they're going to figure themselves out, and then it's going to get better. No, I mean, that puts us off the hook. It puts people off the hook, and it doesn't emphasize the fact that, well, first of all, we should try to make it better right away. You shouldn't have to wait until later for it to get better. Why not? Why can't we try to get it better right away? And so you don't have to wait. And also, it's just, sometimes it won't necessarily get that much better right away, but at the end of the day, we have to, it's not going to get better at all if we don't make an effort, and we don't make an effort to educate people about trans issues and about queer issues, and if we don't teach people to just show basic respect to one another, regardless of gender and sexual orientation. I mean, and that's another critique that actually has come up around the It Gets Better idea, is the fact that it does kind of, there is a little bit of a kind of focus more on the people who it is more likely to get better for. It's more likely, like, unfortunately, it's more likely to get better for you if you are from, a family that is a little bit more financially stable. And if you do get to go to college, and if you do, and the fact is that's not everybody. Not everybody gets to go to, do whatever, not everybody has the same situation. Not everybody has the same opportunities. So I think that's an important thing to recognize. in this whole thing, and that's a big thing that we have to recognize, and that's a big part of the problem, and that we need to fix to help things get better. But also, I think a problem with that, the idea of just saying that it does get better regardless, is I think it also puts the people who it sucks for off the hook a little bit. At the end of the day, it can get better for you. It can, and I think that's the message I think that really should be taught to people, is that it can get better. But a big part of it, now obviously a huge part of it is, especially with queer and gender, like transgender issues, a big part of it getting better is just society getting better and society having better attitudes. But also at the same time, just for everybody, things aren't going to get better for you if you just have the attitude that they're just going to get better for you. You have to have the attitude, first of all, you have to have the optimism that it can get better and that things can get better for you. And you also just have to, having a positive outlook can make a very big, difference, and just looking for opportunities to make things better for you, looking for, and being aware of the things that are not great in your life. Just being aware, this thing is not, so that you can try to change that thing. And sometimes that's hard, but, I think that it's important, to have a good attitude. And I think that having the attitude that it's not just going to get, if I just suffer for a while, then eventually it'll get better. No, like, you should try to make things better for yourself as soon as possible. As soon as you should start trying to make things better for yourself. And again, like, the big thing that's hard with saying it gets better is there's different situations, and there's different people are going through different things, and for some people it's a lot harder than for other people. But at the end of the day, I think I do think I don't want to just completely like shit on the idea of it gets better, because I think that there is something very important to that. And as I said, when I was young, when I was in middle school, that would have been really, really nice to hear. And it would have been nice to hear that I wasn't just going to be trapped in the same kind of place that I was in at that time, and that it could get better, and that it could. But I don't know. I think sometimes I think people. I think that sometimes it's harder for it to get better for some people when people embrace the fact that they're not happy, and embrace and kind of embrace their suffering, and kind of as a thing that they're just helpless to. And I think, and again, it's harder for other people. Different people have different dispositions, and it's I think for example, people who suffer from depression, and if that's the case, a big thing is getting help, and reaching out to people. But for a lot of people, just trying not to get into that, holding on to the idea that it can get better and that you can make things better for yourself, can really help. And I think that helped me. I think when I at first, not that I haven't had rough spots, but when I went to college, I decided to try to have like a really positive attitude, and try to really focus on kind of going like, no, I can make things can get better, and I can have I can enjoy my life here, and I can enjoy things here. And I think that really has helped me, because overall, again, I've had my rough spots, but in general, it's been like a great experience. And this has been the best time of my life, so I don't know, just the I've kind of just been rambling on a little bit, but I think that's I do think the idea of it gets better has a very good intention. I understand why it's become kind of like a big staple of queer culture, is the idea of the getting better. But don't put yourself off the hook. Nobody should put themselves off the hook of just going like, oh, well, it will get better. No, like, it can, it can get better, but you have to make it get better. And everybody, like, has a responsibility to try to make it better.